when Councilmember Boyson brought this issue up about, and a lot of the public, several members of the public that were here about 1401, et cetera, and I did not voice my opinion then, and I want to voice my opinion on it now, because, and I also want to query you with a question. Is there any, have we done anything, is there anything illegal about moving the open space designation to business park on that 3,800 square feet, which is what, about the size of this room? Is there anything illegal about that, Mr. Attorney?
We had several discussions, I think, about this.
I'm doing this for the benefit of people that are coming
during the council meeting, and I indicated that there's nothing illegal about the city adopting or changing the zoning for a parcel.
Okay.
Whether or not Caltrans and the permit and all that other kind of stuff, those are separate issues.
Those are separate issues. So the reason he said no, there's nothing illegal about it. So let's start with that.
Excuse me, there's no back and forth in the audience.
The issue that I have with rezoning and going back has less to do with the appearance of the thing and all that. I wasn't here when this was voted on originally, and it became fairly contentious. But I've had a lot of people ask and comment about this one particular issue, and I haven't really voiced my opinion on it, but I'm going to do so now, and I'm going to take a point of privilege here. And here's the way I see this, and I've had conversation with several members of the public that have brought this forward, and we've answered them in email, and we've answered them in other forums, and I've answered them personally. And here's what it boils down to for me. There doesn't seem to be an appetite for any kind of digital billboards in this community, with many members of the community. But I don't see the necessity, other than making a few people feel good about reverting back to the status quo or where we were before. When we are actively looking at every option, and I know I am actively looking at every option with the billboard companies, with the community. We've had suggestions tonight to have a community council, if you will, about the billboard issues. Get together with the No One S leaders of No One S, et cetera, et cetera. I do not see the advantage to leaving, every option to us open, and up to and including this particular parcel, spending staff time, money, resources, council time. We're going to have to go back through the planning commission, zoning, etc., to do this, when this may be a perfectly usable parcel for a future project. I'm not saying there's any any appetite for it. Excuse me. I have the floor, sir. All right, I don't appreciate being interrupted, Steve. All right, and we've had these conversations about this issue, and when people come up and they speak and over and over again about the same issue, we're not sitting up here dense, dumb, and blind. We get it. We understand this was a contentious issue, and I want to make sure that we are exploring every opportunity and leaving every option open to this community. And if you want us to spend staff resources, you want us to spend time, zoning, etc., to go back when we are in the midst of a one-year clock, to perhaps come back and do nothing, do everything, do a few things. Why? I do not see the logic in investing those kinds of resources and the time and the public hearings, etc., just so everybody feels good about it. I do not believe that's good governance. There's nothing illegal about what we've done. It's what the council has done. It's in the full view of the public. There are no backroom deals. These things are done in accordance with state law. And I've heard this over and over and over again. And I'm telling you folks, this particular deal was contentious. And perhaps this was not exactly the right thing for the community at this time. And maybe there needs to be more information shared about it. And I'm willing and able to do that. But to say and to harp over and over again about a 3,800 square foot piece of property that we can't do anything with at this point. This measure was defeated. Let's leave our options open. Let's discuss it like adults. Let's all sit down in the room. We'll take your suggestions under advisement, and we'll move forward. Mr. City Manager, is there anything that can be done with this parcel as business park that won't go through a public hearing process? What would the process be in order for anything at all to be done with this parcel at this point, and what could we do with it without the council or any other approval? I guess is the bottom line here.
Well, again, it's 3,800 square feet, so there's not much you can do. It's also a city-owned parcel. So it's our parcel, it'd be the council's discretion if there were some other, if you could find something to do on 3,800 square feet. So at this point, there's nothing.
And would it not have to go through planning?
Yes.
And would it not have to go through the planning commission process, public hearings, and then to the council and more public hearings? For a vote?
It would depend on
what it was.
What's in the
but
business
essentially,
park. But
it's
the
a
reality
public
is,
process.
with 3,800 square feet, there's nothing that's going to go through.
Okay. So, in your expert opinion, do you see any harm for leaving this open for the time being, given what everything else that we've talked about? Do you think there's any harm in leaving that parcel to the public?
I think the council still has full discretion on anything that happens on that parcel.
Right. Thank you.